Hi, I'm Samaya Shwe from Acknowledge Education Perth. Today I'll be presenting the topic Play in the Early Years. Let's get started with slide number 1. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we live, learn, and work together. I pay my respects to their Indigenous elders, both current and former, as well as to the next generation. I respect their spiritual connection with the country, and I acknowledge that their heritage and cultural beliefs are still as important as those were before. I continue to extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the first people of this country that let us understand the connection and experience our work with the children in today's world. Here comes slide number 2. So what is play in early childhood education? Play is considered as a vital factor for children's physical development, activity, and growth. Play is basically how children want to create an imagination to engage in self-discovery of world and grow within that. They try to explore from surrounding areas to engage with themselves in a natural way. For example, when a child is engaging with the mom and play out to cook a lunch, he's not just playing but discovering new ideas. Play is individual complex, means different things to different people. This is according to McDonald 2022 P4. Moving to slide number 3, play-based learning in early childhood. When children involve themselves with some play-related activities, as in climbing on a low-lay tree with a number of other children, initially they might feel like falling down, but then they find numerous ways to get through with it, which eventually builds self-confidence in them and minimizes the risk of fear and failure. Teachers must motivate the kids to explore their way out while guiding them side by side. On the contrary to the traditional teaching style, play-based education should be promoted more so a child can speak and participate in their own way. Next is slide number 4. Theories that support play-based learning. There are multiple theories that support the idea of play-based learning in early childhood education. First one is Lev-Vygotsky theory, emphasized on zone proximal development, which states that if a child can really do things independently, more accurately, or with the help of support. He also believed in collaborative learning. If a child takes part with each other, he or she can build new skills and ideas rather than doing it individually. Froebel's play theory states that the play is an important factor in children's growth. Play is a form of creativity and imagination for children where they can represent their emotions, point of view, and beliefs. He also emphasized on social interaction among children by the help of group learning and participation in outdoor activities. Jerome Bruner's theory explained that the children can create new ideas while they are in a thought process and make sense of it. He emphasized on 3 stages that leads to the mental development and advancement of a children. Those are characterized as learning via pictorial representation, learning through behaviors, figurative learning. He mainly talked about the intellectual development of a child. Jane Pagan's theory states that a child can learn through play-based activities and routine practices and expertise, which allows children to learn through communication with the other kids, leading to better understanding so that they can make sense of the existing thing. He emphasized on brainstorming and critical reflection as a main factor in children's cognitive growth and development. Now let's move forward to the types of play. Play is as pure as breathing. Play comes in numerous forms, and each one of it holds up children's mental growth and development. Children learn as they play. Most importantly, in play, children learn how to learn. This is according to O. Fred Donaldson. Unoccupied play. In unoccupied play, newborns ranging from 1 to 3 months will experience by adhering to the surrounding environment to finally make some motor and sensory movements. Educators should highly encourage these babies to involve them in seeing bright pictures by keeping cute stuffed toys in front of them will help in taking interest. Solitary play. In this type of play, they engage in a solo play because they are not yet confident to interact with the other kids around them. They try to focus on their imaginations and rather play alone while creating blocks or playing with their colorful books. Onlooker play. In this kind of play, kids often observe other kids playing, enjoying, and they eventually try to learn and interact, but don't actually interact. Educators should motivate children to watch other kids dancing or solving a treehouse puzzle. Now, parallel play. Children of this class play next to each other. They try to copy their actions but don't play together. That's actually a noticeable point that they are building self-confidence within them and soon will be socially active. Associative play. In this type of play, children start to interact with one another, but in the end, they do what they think is right, which is mainly on their own. There is no mutually shared ideas in associative play. Cooperative play. In this stage, children are fully motivated to interact with each other within the surrounding environment. Together, they conquer is their ultimate goal. They share ideas together while learning new skills, example making a castle together. Significance of play based learning. Play based learning is considered as one of the key elements in children's growth and activity because they try to explore the broader picture of the world, which navigates their mental, physical, and socio-active growth. There are numerous approaches to develop empathy and how play can actually support development in children's life. These are as follows. Mental development. This activates brain development when a child is engaged in an activity with full of innovation that generates ideas, thinking process, and how to cope up with the mistakes. It builds critical approach in children's life. Physical growth. From this type, children improve motor and psychomotor skills like running, playing, dancing, and drawing, etc. This eventually builds robustness in them. Emotional and social growth. Play helps children to cope up with their emotions, create sense of empathy among them. Through this, they are ready to take the risk of trying out new ideas. This builds a strength of mind in adversity. Communication and language skills. By the help of book reading habit and discussing the pictures and ideas will expose the words and help in communication and will broaden the language skills. Certain board games help children to understand simple word and tactics. Imaginative skills. The sense of creativity opens up the mind of a child to think and find out a way to a specific situation. This eventually helps them in experimenting ideas and increase the curiosity among them. Implementation of play-based practices in classroom. As a future educator, ideas of play-based practices that I will bring up in my classroom will be as follows. Manipulative play. This will embrace activities like molding, elementary component of a tower, tailoring, etc. This will help children solve the problem with coordinate support of other children. Rich play-based surrounding. This will create a mixture of challenges for children, climbing on a low-lay tree. Outdoor activities will help strengthen their emotional and social abilities. Example, children engaging themselves in dancing and piano class. Group activities. I will introduce group games in my classroom, for example, musical chairs, passing the pillow, creating puzzles together, and narration of poems. This will create unity among children, the sense of empathy, joy, and laughter. Explorative play with art. I will daily encourage children to take part in clay making activities, sand activity like treasure hunt, painting, and drawing. This will create balance between learning and playful environment. According to D. Lucasi, ETAL, the role of creativity in early years, play-based pedagogy journal of early childhood education research.